Here in California, new poll results are raising some eyebrows. They show Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren leading the pack in California. Joe Biden's in third and Kamala Harris is behind and in single digits. So KPIX5's Phil Matier and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown what's going on with Senator Harris.
It's a difficult task for her because she has not concentrated at all on California. Whoever's managing her campaign, in my opinion, will not do it the way it should have been done. Clearly, you ought to develop the ability to be the favorite son or daughter in the state from whence you come, which is the way it was in the olden times when we were selecting people. She needed to concentrate. That incredible send-off that she got in the announcement time back in February in Oakland, it was dramatic, clearly. And 3 or 4 continuous visits here would have placed her at the top of the food chain. Ignoring California, not deliberately, but doing all you can to be known in other places, causes you not to be doing things at home.
Melissa, when we look at the top 2 contenders on the Democratic front, it is Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you about the direction of the Democratic Party? If you put their numbers together, they beat everybody hands down philosophically.
Well, it just goes to show you that in terms of who's responding to the polls, saying, I do intend to vote, because that's who we're looking at in the Democratic primary, it tells you that if you put those together, you've got a really big progressive coalition. Now, remember, though, in California, for example, the biggest group of voters and the fastest growing group of voters is decline to state. So if you look at just sort of who are the Democrats who are voting, yes, they look like they're moving left, they look progressive, but there are folks who are saying no to the party altogether.
Mayor Brown, Kamala Harris decided early on to be a progressive candidate. She was
mistake.
Okay, because she was traveling in the same lane as Warren and Sanders, and they have overcome her and forced her out.
Absolutely, total and complete mistake. You should always be yourself. Believe me, 3 a.m. in the morning, she keeps talking about. In law school, they'd say you'd better know a particular law in the real property, life estates, or whatever it is. You got to be able to cite that. In the world of politics, don't be a candidate, be a person.
Yeah, it seems like the trend line for her is not good. She seems to be trending in the wrong direction.
That's right. After that bump she got back in July after her first debate performance, she very quickly went back down into single digits and has sort of stayed there. And her campaign has tried to reboot a few times. Now they're focusing in Iowa and sort of changing the strategy. But it's a tough time to be really switching gears.
Momentum, attention, and enthusiasm are very mercurial, and she seems like she's lost it, at least for the moment.
Well, and also, I agree, but also it also seems that once you sort of get labeled second-tier candidate, it's a really difficult thing to break out of. And so her plan to really peak later, isn't necessarily intrinsically possible once the public sort of view you as in one category.